Welcome, welcome, welcome. We have made it to the Week 3 Divine League matchup between Aqualix Esports and Northwood University. We got 2-0 for Aqualix, 0-2 for Northwood. Can they get a win today? My name is Mazel, and I am joined by the one and only, the Random Minion Caster. How you feeling about these games today, my dude?
I'm feeling super hyped for these games. We're just approaching the halfway mark. So after this game, Aqualix will have faced off against every other team in the division at least once. And without further ado, they're throwing out these bans real quick here.
They are indeed. We do have Aqualix on the blue side with Northwood on the red side for this game number 1 of this best of 3 series here today. We have Olaf, Evelyn, and Mordekaiser taking off the blue side with Bard, Nidalee, and Lilia taking off for Northwood. Of course, we get to see the traditional first pick here. We get the Graves locked in, but the Horsey Man is quick to follow. We have the Hecarim and the Lulu locked in immediately for Northwood.
Yeah, really quick jungler picks here. Little bit sad we don't see the jungle Talia coming up from the side of Kerwin again. He did it game 1, and it's been
banned. Series, all right. We still got a couple games potentially. Yeah.
I mean, hopefully, because it got banned against him every single game after he did that in his game 1 here. But he's going with the Graves this time. I think a much safer pick, and having the Shen as well for Wave 6 would be absolutely massive because it is one of his most played champions. He tends to be a weak side top laner, usually playing those tanks. So giving him a Shen means he can do things all around the map here, and a Senna.
Yeah, the Senna is very interesting for sure. I think as a total composition, you're feeling really good. You have a good first trio for yourself, but Senna has definitely fallen off a cliff, at least in competitive play. But we still see her. She still is that very strong late game carry where she does start shooting those laser beams at like by 30, 35 minutes. And talking about shooting laser beams and late game carries, we got the Rat, the Twitch, coming in for Northwood, locked in with that Lulu is going to provide that super, super strong and lethal duo in the bot lane. As we are getting in the second phase of bans here, we see the Zillion taken off here after the Lilia for Northwood on the red side. We're waiting on the last couple bans here for both teams.
Yeah, and we can quickly talk about that Twitch pickup here because Twitch has been rising in popularity, especially at Worlds. In the play-in groups, Twitch has become one of the new go-to ADCs here. So Northwood on that bandwagon as well. That spray and pray, like you said, that laser just shredding through entire enemy teams there if you can't reach him. So Lulu, a great support to pair alongside. And we're seeing a bunch of mid-lane bans coming out.
Don't you just love amateur? It's great. You never see any like the crazy. Like, I guess we have pretty meta bans here. That Syndra definitely got it back in line a little bit more. It was towards the little bit of wonkiness, but I do like the Zillion ban, the Syndra ban, the Kale ban, getting away that late game carry potential from the top lane, as well as the Yasuo getting taken away. But Northwood say they want to continue to go with this duo ADC composition as they do lock in that Lucian.
And to a certain extent, I actually think that's a solid decision there. That Lucian can be flex top and mid as well. I don't think it will do too well into the Shen top, though. So
I'm questioning that Sona, though, Random Minion Caster. Oh, goodness.
I think that's going to be Senna, fasting Senna with Sona. Potentially, maybe, or double support, because I mean, the Sona Lux bot lane was very, very popular, and Sona Senna does the exact same thing. Lux did get nerfed a little bit, but support Senna did not. So we might be seeing that.
Sona. Why? Like, I appreciate the Orianna. That was the last pick for Aqualix. It's a very heavy meta pick right now. She is so strong. Still, I believe, I probably shouldn't say this if I'm not 100% positive. I'm pretty sure she's still 100% win rate in play-ins right now. So it's pretty crazy. Graves and Ornn lost their first game last night, though. So at least that 100% win rate isn't there anymore. But we get a very interesting pick here. Something that's been creeping up in the meta. Something that's been a little bit stronger because of the way the top lane meta has been going. And that's that Malphite.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, the tank into tank as well. So Malphite going to have a pretty strong lane, and it's Northwood's drafting primarily for that team fight here. You look at their composition, Lucian, Ghost Electricity on that Lucian in the mid lane just to hold down the early game there. You've got that scaling on that Lulu Twitch. You got that Malphite as well for team fights. Nobody's going to be able to get on that Rat. Good luck, the Unstoppable Force, the Onslaught of Shadows. Just going to be chaos there trying to reach the back line.
Yeah, I feel so bad for Aqualix's backline. Like, well, and the thing is, they don't really have a front line either. They have Shen, so it's gonna be Shen going forward, and then everybody on the back getting ulted by the Malphite. So we'll have to see how that works out. Maybe they can find a way to space themselves out, do a little bit of TFT tactics or something like that. Get some spacing to not get Malphite ulted.
Yeah, they would definitely have to do that. I mean, the bright side is they do kind of have a little bit of range as well. So not necessarily the worst of it here. They can sort of try and kite back. And the Shenzhen United as well, right? They get the shield onto whichever target gets focused down, but they definitely do have to space out. And that might actually cause a bit of complications for them because their team does also want a team fight, but without that strong frontline tank a little bit, it's going to be a little dicey for Sona to get in there and get the crescendo off. That shockwave as well. Oriana, No Ego is going to be really careful where he stands when he puts that ball in position to get the shockwave as well. So,
I think that Aqualix definitely have an okay composition. I think that the fact that we get to see like this damage focused composition with a little bit of tankiness, but still has a lot of pressure to it, I guess, and a lot of ways that you can actually carry the game if you get further into it. But the composition from Northwood is just so easily executable that it makes it really hard to play again. You have an okay composition for Aqualix. You can pull this off, but it's so hard to do so. Where Northwood, they just got to press a couple buttons.
Yeah, a much lower threshold of execution for Northwood. But on the other hand, Aqualix is top of the table for a reason here.
Exactly.
I mean, right now they're undefeated 2-0, one of the few teams here in the Divine League currently sitting on that 2-0 scoreline. And their players are very, very mechanically skilled. So if there was a team to pull it off, I mean, Aqualix definitely going to be one of those teams on that very short list, not to mention it is a best of 3. So they can afford to just try a more risky sort of pick ban in their game 1 here and see how it goes. And now I am wondering a lot whether this Senna is going to be the starving Senna, because we did see the nerf come through for Senna on this patch 10.19, where she now only has that 4% on the ADC Senna. And that's why we've kind of seen Senna's play rate drop like a rock, especially in the ADC position. So very, very curious how this bot lane is going to work, whether we're going to see sort of the double support sharing the CS or whether they are going to stick to that ADC Senna ways. Because even without the souls, Senna does still hit like a truck.
She definitely does. And now we've talked a bit about the compositions, but what I really want to focus in on is the avenues for these teams. I mean, you obviously look at the bot lane. The thing is I've been casting an amateur for a decent amount of time, and Aqualix have a lot of names, and they have a lot of players that have shown up in the past, but can you say they've shown up recently? To an extent, yes. Especially with the 2-0 start in Divine. But there has been a past of some shortcomings, and especially looking at Pyroan here in the jungle. I think that the jungle in this specific matchup is going to be super, super integral to how both teams want to play. And we've seen Pyroan be completely dominant in the jungle with his variety of picks. And so to see him start off here in game number 1, right, against a team that definitely has a little bit of the stronger hand in the draft, at least came away with some of those extra draft bucks in game number 1. If they can perform in this one and they can at least make it a game, it looks really bright for them because they do have a lot of strengths in their team. But it's about how these guys show up on the day, and the communication is going to be completely key.
Yeah, always here, especially once you start getting to the higher levels of amateur here, communication becomes so important. And that's, in a way, a double-edged blade here, because for Northwood, I am a little concerned. Their team is also fairly new as well. Northwood University, they're actually just stepping in here. So they're inheriting a 0-2 record from what was previously Mad City Outlaws, who have dropped out of the league. So we, at this point, don't know anything about Northwood here, their players, their play styles, how they work together as a team. But because they're also a new team, we don't know how their communication is going to be on their side of things. So I think that lower threshold of execution becomes a benefit for them a lot. Whereas on Aqualix, like you mentioned, Pyroan, I mean, the man is great, and Aqualix does play a lot through their jungle. You usually can count on Pyroan to be that early game playmaker, making the moves, getting his lanes ahead. Then No Ego and Oshawott really come online and start to carry through the mid to late end of things. But I mean, Perwin also has had games where
he really has, though, man.
Yeah, that doesn't quite.
So somebody said it in chat, and I 100% agree. I'm ready to watch Pyro either carry or int. There is no in between, and that is the story of this man.
Do or do not. There is no try with Perwin. So I mean, the communication there is also very key because so far in the first 2 weeks, Aqualix's communication has been absolutely on point. Perwin's been getting some really amazing ganks in, perfect coordination with all three of his lanes. If that continues to go well, then I think Aqualix, despite the harder execution on their composition, I mean, their mechanics are just so good when they get it right. But it always, like, there's that 50-50 coin flip, so we'll have to see which Perwin shows up. I do like the fact that he's on the Graves, though, so he does have a bit more safety here compared to some of the other picks that he might go with, such as that Jungle Talia.
Maybe. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have been talking about these drafts, but we're just about to get into the action and see what they can do in this game 1 of this best of 3 of the week 3 of the Divine League. But we got to take a little break. I hope you don't mind, but don't touch that browser because we'll be right back. But before you do, got a little shout out here. I want to show you that you can bet on either of these teams here to help us decide who the community thinks is going to come away with this win. Make sure you type in !bet with either AQLX or NU and then put your points behind it. That is how you get your bets in, and we can help, try to decide who we think is better here. But again, we're going to take a little break. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. I promise you did not take a wrong turn of Albuquerque because we have arrived on Summoner's Rift for game number 1 of this best of 3 between Aqualix Esports and Northwood University. Very interesting comps coming out here for this first game. I'll have to see if this Senna-Sona bot lane can actually be the ticket to a win for them here.
Honestly, Mazel, I'm a little sad that we are seeing that Senna ADC here. We are it's not the split support here. So Oshawa just gonna ignore the fact that Senna got nerfed, gonna play through that, and like I said, still packs a punch, but just will take longer to stack up those souls. Unfortunately, we'll have to see if it's worth it though, because Senna Sona still can do a lot of damage in lane against a Lulu Twitch.
Yeah, and talking about Keystones a little bit, we don't see anything too out of the ordinary. We get the glacial augment for the Senna, phase rushes across the board. The one thing I would like to talk about, I guess, a little bit is Ben Sap taking the Conqueror again on the Hecarim, which you've seen a very heavy drop off in recently, and it's all about the healing in that sense, because with the phase rush, you get a lot of that extra damage. You have that movement speed that compounds your damage, but with the Conqueror, you get that extra damage as well as that healing on the 10th stacks or 12th stack now, I believe. So it's a interesting choice. I'll see it plays. That's a very minute choice, but it's really interesting me as well, as because I'm a Hecarim player. So I always like to see these little intricacies and see which one's better.
For sure. And the other thing too is it does make a difference in that Hecarims that usually run that phase rush are looking to take down a single target as fast as they can with that phase rush damage, whereas the Conqueror, a lot of times they're looking to stay in the fights a little bit longer. So it might also be that Ben Sap is confident he can access the backline. He's got enough damage and he wants to sit in the back in the middle of that Senna Sona there and just try and shred down the Graves, the Orianna, because there are actually quite a few squishies here that he can wreak havoc on just by sitting in the midst of the backline.
Yeah, he definitely can. And you already see on the bot side, Senna and Sona taking the aggression, getting level 2 first down there. Really nice to set themselves up with a good pace.
That's what they kind of need to do as well, because while Senna does scale infinitely in a sense, she also does take longer to do it as the ADC compared to the Twitch. So when Twitch starts hitting like 2, 3, 4 items, about 3 or 4 item spikes, that's when you're going to see him absolutely just wreck the Senna, and he can just stealth, pop up next to her, and punch, and just lay down all the damage.
And even the Sona, honestly, she does not have a big health bar. You even see there just the poke from the Lulu. Look how much damage that's doing. And yes, it's early on, but that Twitch gets onto you, you're done skis.
A very, very risky bot lane. Monster Mash will be able to sustain back up, heal back up, whereas Hero X has to constantly make sure he shields first, and anytime he doesn't shield in time, that damage is going to stick. So anything you see there will just stay for now.
My God. I see it all the time, especially because Shen has been getting so heavy prevalence in League recently. But every time you see those like level 2, level 3 auto attacks that take like 150 health off of the enemy top laner, it's like, what is this champion?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of don't expect it against another tank too, but they do pull
rough,
it off.
Man. It's like, what do you even do? Look at this! Like, he could just take the kill here. The flash had to come out. Oh no, Pyroan. Oh, he walks into a 1v3 and he's still fighting it. I random mid cast, take it away.
I mean, he got out alive. That's the important thing. Mid lane, that will be fine, just barely. They're still looking for more. He's looking at the mid lane this time.
There's so much poke on this bot lane. They're so squishy, but they don't care. I love it. Man, this is the kind of performance you're looking for from Aqualix. You pick this kind of harder composition to pull off, and you're still pulling it off. You're going super aggressive. You're being this trendsetter in the pace of the game. And yes, it's only 4.5 minutes in, but we got a dragon coming up, and they're getting a gank on the top side. Look, Ben Sap is too late. They might still get this, though, as he's going to charge in. Wavesix is in some serious trouble. The charge lands. He gets first blood after all is said and done. The shotgun shots for Pyroan are going to get a kill back, but that's 2 into Hecarim's pocket. That is a lot of gold towards that Trinity Force. In the mid lane, Ghost Electricity going on a no ego, but not going to get anything. Ben Sap trying to get this wave to push into the tower so that Wavesix can't freeze it. Looks like he's going to be able to do just that. So chaos early on, but 2-1 in favor of Northwood University.
Yeah, they finally get the action that they've been looking for all game. And the top was really a race to first blood. I don't think Wavesix or Bendy were really going to get out alive of that. And I think it was really great play from Bendy to delay enough that Ben Sap actually managed to get the first blood onto Wavesix there. So great play from the side of Northwood University, and they're showing up to be competitive. They needed one lane to win, and one thing to note is mid lane, Ghost Electricity on this Lucian has not really been able to take over this mid lane against No Ego's Orianna, which is not a good sign for them. So the fact that they can try and find something through Ben Sap instead is a good sign for them.
It definitely is, and if you want anything, you want Hecarim to be ahead. I mean, Twitch obviously would be good to get some goal on Lucian as well, but Hecarim would just feel like has such impact in the game, and when you get that early Trinity Force, you just control the objective so well. And Ocean Soul is on the Rift first of all. Top side, Bendy didn't have flash and is almost going to go down, but didn't get in range of that last auto attack, so he gets out at least. But pressure definitely on it in the top side for Bendy, and Wavesix just feeling perfectly fine. Look at that. That max range taunt, that's a kill. That's it. That's a lead for Shen in the top side. He has Stand United available now. Look for this communication that we said was so key. If they can get a big Stand United to affect the other lanes, that's going to mean so much more for their side.
Yeah, Bendy's not even level 6 yet. The poor man's just been completely bullied. No teleport either to get back into the lane. So Wave 6 right now has the pressure. He can look for Stand United somewhere on the map.
I mean, they're taking everything here. Look at the damage early on there onto Heroics. I mean, that's so big from the Senna and Sona, and they're just pressuring this over and over again. Having developed a 20 CS lead for the Senna, this is insane. This is a scaling champion who, as you said, pretty much infinitely scales, and you're already getting good gold. They've already developed a decent amount here, and they get their first dragon as well.
So you can see that plays right all across the map. Puro, when doing that dragon, you can see this bot lane automatically, instantly just turn the pressure on, trying to make sure there's nothing to go for.
They can't do anything. I mean, the heal finally comes out, so that's a summoner spell. Use double shockwave in the mid lane. That's Stand United, though, coming in. They want the kill. Ghost Electricity is going to use that calling. The flash doesn't land. Wave 6 overestimates himself, and he goes down. He still got the kill on the Ghost Electricity, but that was a bit of an F in chat there for the Shen. He was doing so well. He just overextended, goes under tower, and dies.
Wave 6 really aggressive. Now, Ben Sap charging back.
Dead. All right. Well, this is a big lead for it's 1,000 gold. 8 minutes in already for the side of Aqualix Esports. They're looking to make it more on the bot side. I mean, this hurts my soul down here, random minion caster.
That oppression, my goodness, can be felt all the way on this side of the monitor as well. And you can already see Tilsap has to leave base here. They just can't stick around. If that bot lane hits 6, a flash crescendo is going to instantly spell death on both of them. So I think Tilsap and Heroics have to be very, very careful. And there we go. Level 6 hit. Ben Sap coming
We got Ben Sap coming down. They're really overextended here. They need to try and get out. They have a path forward, though. Ben Sap looking to go in. He's not going to take it. He's very, very wishy-washy, as he didn't want to go in. Flash forward, though. This could be the re-engage. The Dawning Shadow comes through. They're popping shots left and right as they are getting everything they came for. One more is not going to land onto the Lulu, but they get the kill onto what matters, and that's the Twitch going into the Death Realm.
And that's the time where you want your Hecarim to just pop your Ghost and try.
At that point, just go in.
Exactly.
Like, I feel like you just go in.
And part of that might come down to that communication we were talking about earlier, that Northwood University, a fairly fresh new team, might not have that confidence, that communication with each other to just say, go now.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage on Ghost Electricity. He was not having a good time. Tried to use the culling at the last second. Might have wanted to pop that a little earlier there, as No Ego has definitely run away with this mid lane so far. It's honestly a little bit shocking here. We have 30 CS leads in the bot lane, in the jungle, and now about 20 in the mid lane, 10 in the top lane. It is all in favor of Aqualix Esports, and they're showing us why they're the top team right now.
Exactly, and now they're going in for No Ego again.
So early on that onslaught of shadows, but they're able to get a lot of damage on No Ego. He does flash. Can he get the slow there? Look at this.
Oh, wow.
They just can't even get him. Ben Sap literally used everything he had and still did not come away with the kill. That is where you're at in this game, and that's the state of the map.
No Ego, the man had nerves of steel. He held that flash to the very, very last second, trusting in his shield, trusting in the slows, and that's just amazing play here from No Ego as well. And if we just take a look at the state of the map here right now for both teams, Aqualix's composition does a bit gold. Yeah, and so right now, like, they are in a really, really solid position. They're winning every single lane here. plus the jungle. They picked up Ocean Drake as well. And right now, Perwin doing the Herald, going to be able to pick Shelly. So just complete dominance from the side of Aqualix. On the side of Northwood University, they need to start making something happen. They've got AoE ultimates with Vensep's Onslaught of Shadows, top lane, Bendy's Unstoppable Force, but they need to be able to leverage it somewhere. And the bot lane right now is falling so far behind.
Bensep wants to help bot lane so bad. You can see he wanted to go forward. He was going towards that ward there, but decides not to because they realize how much of a deficit they're in. Lulu is still not level 6 random minion caster. Like, yeah, how does that even happen? It's 11 minutes. Okay, she finally reached it. It's 11 minutes into the game, though.
And that's an absolutely massive problem. They're so far behind. Like, the level mismatch is pretty bad, and it's happening in every single lane. Mid lane has a 2-level difference as well because No Ego is so strong. They're going to drop Shelly there, and they might potentially be able to get first turret, maybe not off this wave, but the next wave is already coming in. And you can see Ghost Electricity just completely forced back right here.
Yeah, I mean, there's really nothing they can do, and Bensap is really the only catalyst that can get something going for them, but you see, he's very scared to commit to anything. He doesn't want to give up this lead that he's gained for himself to give gold into somebody else's pocket. He doesn't want to make those calls, but sometimes you got to make those risky calls to get the biscuit. And so far that biscuit is sitting on the ledge, just getting real cold right now.
It's going to go still at the rate here. Go in here. Something needs to be done while you can. And you can see Bensap hovering just around the mid lane again, but he's spotted out on a ward right now, so he can't even go in on No Ego. No Ego hovering away from that.
Honestly, No Ego's baiting this. Yeah, look at this. He was literally baiting the tower shots, waiting for him to step forward. Now we're going to see if he can pull it off. The Stand United's not going to do it. The Dawning Shadow, if it would have been a little bit earlier, probably would have gotten the Stand United there, and Shin would have saved the day. So a bit of a communication snafu there from the side of Aqualix Esports, but it's fine. They're still in the lead. They've still got a 5K gold lead at sub 13 minutes right now, and they're looking to push it even further. Pyroan going in a 1v2 and still coming out on top.
Now you can see Tosap, Heroics, and Bensap all low on health here. Monster Mash is in the area with the Crescendo as well, so they can't step out. If they get spotted by Monster Mash and he puts a Crescendo down, any of them who gets caught is instantly dead, and they get their second turret of the game. They're just pushing in right now. That goal lead continues to grow. It's now 5,500 from what was just 3,000 not too long ago right here. And interestingly enough, it's not coming through Perwin. We talked about how Perwin often makes things happen. No, this is just a straight lane lead in lanes.
It really has been. I mean, these picks have been on point here for themselves. I mean, bot lane is now at a 50 CS differential. I mean, that's huge for a Senna who, as we've said 1,000 times already, is infinitely scaling. She's looking for that late game carry option. It's only 13 minutes of the game. She's already at 130 farm. Like, that is absolutely nuts to me. And at this point, this is a tall mountain to climb for Northwood. But there are ways. I mean, there's some good gear out there you can go buy. I know Dick's Sporting Goods carries some climbing gear. You can go there, find some of that yourself, because they need something to get them out of this.
But unfortunately, Dick's Sporting Gear ain't here. It's Boris in the shop. So we know how Boris can be. It's really scary. And now Bendy's in trouble.
Next item from Riot is going to be climbing gear, I promise. So we're going to see. Yeah, it'd be great. We do have a dragon coming up in 3.5 minutes. It's going to be the Infernal Soul. So something even more coveted by these teams, by these players. And with 2 dragons already, they're already very far in the lead. They didn't realize that Pyroan is still here. Look at the healing coming out. Monster Mash gets almost all of his health back. He flashes out. The damage from Pyroan isn't there, though. The healing isn't there on him either. They still have it. Ghost Electricity has arrived, but so has No Ego. Look for the Shockwave. He's got it all. He's got it available. Shen in the back line. This is going all to hell for the side of Northwood University as they try to pull something off. They force it so hard, and they come away with 2 deaths and no kills.
And Perwin's still going in here.
Oh, that charge was really nice, though. Splash out, though. Bensap can't continue. And although Pyroan is so low health, No Ego. Yeah, nobody saw that. That was not a Shockwave is not on cooldown, and neither is Flash, I promise. But they are, and that was really rough. But they still get at least a tower on the top side. They get 2 towers, that is, as they take this second tier. A little bit of a snafu there from the side of Aqualix Esports, but they still get a lot for it and are able to continue pressuring.
For the side of Northwood, University, that play itself, the idea behind it wasn't bad. You're behind, you see the squishy bot lane there, you make a play. That was not the wrong idea. The issue was their lack of vision here. If you look at the top side, you can see they didn't really have all the vision they needed. So that's why Pirwin's sitting in a bush. Well, they didn't know that was happening. They didn't know No Ego was rotating up as well. And then a beautiful teleport from Wave 6 to make sure they continue to have the numbers advantage here. And now they're going to fight over this.
Just being such a menace. Like, yeah, as Quickshot would say, this is or Cadril, whoever said it, this is illegal. Like, I don't want to see this anymore. No, but seriously, they are able to secure this dragon, or at least vision control around this dragon here. About 1 minute and 20 seconds till spawn, so got a decent while. But as you see, the lane state, it's kind of crazy right now. It's so early in the game, but for the side of Northwood University, you really can't do anything. You're trying to get this vision extended. You're trying to make plays onto the map, but every time you do, there's somebody there that's fed, that's waiting for you.
And right now, for the side of Northwood University, they're looking at that Twitch to scale, but he's about 40 CS behind here, and they need an Executioner's Calling as well. The healing from Oshawott and Monster Mash in that top lane fight, they kept each other alive for a disgusting amount of time. They might look squishy, but without the Executioner's Calling, they actually have a ton of effective health there with the heals that they do have. So they kind of need that, but then Tilsap also needs to get that Blade of the Ruined King, the Runa turret.
Needs to get anything, just an item. Send us on 2.5, no big deal.
And that's going to get worse because by the time he finally gets, say, that Blade of the Ruined King and Runans and Executioners, Oshawott's going to have a completed Mirror Mana as well as the third item, and it's just going to be absolutely brutal here. So they're falling really far behind. They want to skill, but right now, they don't have the space to skill. So they need to find somewhere to punish, and they need to find somewhere to punish that can't be reinforced like the way the top lane was earlier.
And what's crazy to me is like all the tanks on the team have their items, and the carries are not even close. Oh no, Oshawott snipes the kill, goes on a killing spree with the Dawning Shadow. Now No Ego looking to take a 1v3. Can he do it? He doesn't see the Twitch coming in. Oshawott has arrived. They're going to get out. That's Saving Private Ryan. But if they were overpowered and in mech suits, if that's anything. But it's a bit of an overextension from the side of Aqualix Esports. They still pull away a tower kill from it, though, and a dragon. So now they're at Soul Point. They've gotten towers across the board. Not a single tower has fallen for them, as it's a bit of a rough time here for Northwood University. This might be just one of those games where you go GG, go next. But there's still points. There's still carry potential in the late game for these guys.
And it just comes down to can you stall, but when you look at how stacked the deck is right now, like you said, Soul Point, Baron coming up in 1.5 minutes, not a single turret or major objective has gone the way of Northwood right now. And we can see the very, very last, the late pickup of Shelly right here means that they will be able to use Shelly probably at about 20, just shy of 23 minutes, drop her in one of the lanes there, and she can pretty much take a turret down at that point when you drop her that late in the game. So right now, Aqualix has all the pieces they need to really close this out. So barring a monumental throw from them, Northwood might have to start thinking about what they want to do to come back in this best of 3.
You know what feels so bad? Okay, so Twitch is finally going to back and get his Blade of the Ruined King. That's a good thing. Ghost Electricity, my dude, he's got 3 pieces right now. He didn't even complete the Blade of the Ruined King. He didn't even complete the Hex Tech or the Maul of Malmortius. He has the Hex Drinker. But in those situations, I feel like at least you should just finish the item. Because at this point, you're on pieces. Everybody else is on like 2 or 3 items, and you're still so far from getting a single one. It just puts you that much further behind.
That's the unfortunate reality you're in when you fall so far behind and you need to build some magic resist. I think leaving the Hex Drinker is fine because Maul of Malmortius is not necessarily the most efficient item. So if you want to leave it at that, it's okay. But like you said, he hasn't completed that Blade of the Ruined King either. So right now, he's a non-
should have been the Blade of the Ruined King first. Do you think he should have just gone for that and then gone for the Hex Drinker?
Honestly, personally, I think when you're that far behind, forget trying to stay alive. Take the damage because if you get a kill, you get bound, you get shut down gold, you get some more gold in your pocket, and you can go from there. And he did actually start building the Cutlass first. So if he had gone straight Hex Drinker, I think it's fine. But because he went Cutlass first, like, yeah, you kind of split, and now you're stuck with the bargain special, right? Where the bargain special, where you got a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and really nothing really working at all. And now No Ego might actually get caught out this time. No allies nearby.
It's a lot of people. Shin is here, though. Shockwave not going to land. They get a lot of damage, though. The Onslaught of Shadows goes down. No Ego finally falls. They get a kill over, but what do they lose for it? Could it be this inhib tower? Wavesix trying to run away. Does get knocked back, though. He's surviving for a long, long time. He could turn on Tilsap. Really, honestly, he waited way long, but if he would have turned and taunted, he totally would have killed that ADC. But now it's about the escape hijinks of the rest of the team here, as it does look like they're going to be able to get away. Bensap is on the other side, though. He's really low. The damage coming down. That's Hecarim dead as they're trying to turn the rest. A big, big crescendo across the two carries, and that's going to be 2 members going down. This is a trio taking on the entire team of Northwood. This is just a signal for the end of the game. That's a quadra kill for Oshawott and a slam of the door for the side of Aqualix Esports.
No Ego coming in as well. They are actually going to try and blitz this one down. Minions coming in, but no supers on this wave yet. Next wave, Wavesix buying time with the teleport here.
No Ego, you got to help kill the towers. You got to help kill. Oh my God, he didn't even hit him with the Shockwave random minion cast. He just almost killed him by the combo. As that is going to be the last shots coming in. No Ego making sure to flex his ego as we see game number 1 go over to Aqualix Esports in dominating fashion.
I'm almost left speechless at how quick that game was. That was a 21-49 minute game. That's incredibly quick here from Aqualix Esports. It really looked like they gave no chance for Northwood at all from start to finish there. And that's going to be a rough one to have to come back from. And if we look at the damage charts a little bit here, you can see that we talked about how Senna has been nerfed. Well, the way Oshawott plays it, you wouldn't be able to tell at all. Oshawott 13k damage, highest in the team. Like, he just ran over that bot lane here.
It really was a clinic there in the bot lane. They were constantly pressing them under tower. You look at the CS, you look at the KDAs for the side of Northwood University in that bot lane. It just feels so rough. They only got 2 assists in total in the entire game. And honestly, the kill participation was really rough across the board for them. That communication was definitely key, but I like to see the top team still pulling out the top plays.
Yep, 100%. I mean, that you might as well take that time, right? It's a best of 3. You're top of the table anyways. Like, take the opportunity to try those things that, you're maybe not 100% on, but you want to work on it. And if you are Northwood University right here, this is only their first game in the league. Maybe it's a little bit of nerves. They can always come back from this, right? It's a best of 3. And to be fair to them, there are certain things in the drops they can look at. I think the Hecarim worked out really well for them. That last pick Malphite into the Shen, I don't know if that's the best use of the counter pick there. Maybe they're going to be blue side next game. So if you're going to pick tank Bendy, I think you pick it a bit earlier. Maybe leave the counter pick a little bit later instead for Ghost Electricity, because he blind picked the Lucian into the Orianna. Mm-hmm. And it kind of didn't work out here. Lucian needs to get a hit. If he doesn't get a hit, it misses the point of the Lucian here. So maybe give a bit more of a counter pick to Ghost Electricity, let Bendy take a tank, or vice versa. If because Aqualix will be red side if they pick their top first, then try and get Bendy a counter pick rather than an even lane to get something to go off of. And actually, Tilsap and Heroics, we kind of bashed them on how far behind they were in XP and gold. But if you look at their final score there, they're combined 0, 3, and 4. So they actually did pretty well considering how far behind they were.
Yeah, they definitely did. But we're going to have to see if it's enough to bring us to a game 3, if they can learn from their mistakes in game number 1 and come back better for it in game number 2. Or is it just going to be a quick 2-0 for Aqualix Esports? We'll have to see. You'll have to see on the other side of this break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. I hope you didn't go too far because we have game number 2 ready and raring to go for you as we are neck deep into the draft already. I am Mazel, joined by Random Minion Caster. That game 1 was a smash. We'll have to see if Northwood can pull it back. On the blue side, Northwood this time, switching up sides, switching up mids. We're going to see ET come in this time. The bans, though, are going to be the Bard, Nidalee, and Lilia, as well as the first pick Graves. And then on the red side, we see the Olaf, Evelyn, and Mordekaiser taken away.
No changes at all in the bans, actually, for both teams. So both teams feel like that wasn't a draft issue, or at least not a ban issue. And we are seeing the first pick Graves once again, but this time it's going to be on Northwood side. I actually really like that.
Aqualix running it back.
I mean, hey, don't fix what ain't broke, right? So for Aqualix, why not pick the center? The only thing you need to change is the jungle. And that Shen, that Sad United did a lot, and more importantly, that Shen did a lot in lane. It just abused Benny. Yeah. So I mean, that's a really, really strong pickup. That Senna as well can still be flexed, so we'll have to see. I don't know if they'll necessarily go with the Senna, the Sona, pardon me, to pair with that Senna again.
Honestly, I hope not. But we'll see. We'll see. Well, so the Ashe Nautilus is the pickup for Northwood. I like that a lot more. I don't feel like the Twitch and Lulu really had a big impact last game, and it's a very niche pick. I guess not in Worlds meta right now because you just pick him whenever. But right in competitive, like in amateur, I feel like Twitch is very niche, and it takes a very special someone to pull it off. And obviously, Tilsap and Heroics have not had the practice on that yet.
Yeah. To a certain extent, when you draw, it's similar to the Ezra. Oh yes, there we go.
There you go. I like it.
Super excited for the Talia jungle potentially from Peru. I'm gonna say, at this point, I'm like 90% sure, but I mean they could technically flex it, so I won't count my chickens before they hatch. But dang, that Talia jungle, that is an early game, really strong ganking jungler. So super excited if it is going to be Peruin's jungle Talia here. As to that Twitch point you were making, Twitch, when you pick that, it's kind of like the Ezreal. You're saying that you're forsaking the early game to skill into the late game there. And I think for Northwood, that didn't work out. So I like the Ashe Nautilus a lot more. That's a lot more. That's a lot stronger in lane. So that tells me that we're not going to sack the bot lane. We're going to give them the strength to try and play through so we don't get run over anymore. And Ashe, I mean, why not? She's still the queen of the bot lane right now.
She is. And we do get a couple bans coming through here for the second phase. So we have the Malphite taken away for Aqualix, as well as that Kale, and the Morgana getting taken away from the Senna. And we're waiting on that last ban from Northwood. Wonder where they're going to really focus this at, because it could still be towards that support pool, but could also be towards the mid lane. Yep, there it is. That's exactly what I was thinking was going to happen, because you don't want what happened last time to happen again. Yes, it's a different mid laner this time around, but No Ego had his number last game.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, that Orianna, like No Ego, it works so well into that Lucian. Well, now that they've banned out the Orianna, Lucian is still on the table here for the side of Northwood University, so they can potentially still pick that here. I think it is still really risky. Instead, well, they do have to blind pick their mid laner, I guess. So it wouldn't be the worst blind pick here. But again, they'll run into the same problem where you have to win early there. And with the Graves Lucian, that's not necessarily the scariest. But is it going to be the Zillion? They banned it last game. Are they going to pick it themselves?
They could. Could be. I mean, it's.
I mean, they're new. Yeah.
Yep, he's logged in. All right, cool. So that's going to be a Zillion mid.
And their new mid laner that they brought in for this game, ET here, does actually play Zillion mid. So we'll be excited and interesting to see if they do it. But if they do this, what I want to see is a sort of carry style top laner here. And Silas would do it. Yep.
Man, these comps, holy cow. All right, so Northwood coming off with a left hook in this game. Wonder what Aqualix is going to respond to. I really like the Maokai. I think Maokai is one of the most undersold people in the meta right now. He's so strong in the top lane, provides so much tank ability, but as well as a good engage with the Nature's Grasp. So, Yone! No! This is awesome. Okay, so I'm not gonna lie, random main caster. This is the first cast I've gotten to cast Yone, which I'm super excited for. I've gotten to do a lot of practice casts with him, but never in an actual cast. So I'm super, super stoked. Interested to see how it's going to work out into the Silas, though, because that is one matchup that could be very volatile both ways. But I do have to give the better hand to Yone just because of how strong he is.
Also, one of the things about this jungle Talia is that you can now pick an ADC mid laner, so the Yone works out really, really well as well. My only question is, how will it do into the Zillion here? If that is a mid lane Zillion, that most likely it's going to be ET. I don't know how that particular matchup would necessarily work, but I am a little bit concerned for Yone because Zillion can just speed up, run away, and then Yone is just kind of left there swinging those swords against nothing at all. So, like, I don't know if that's the best thing, but evidently they feel like that.
Well, and that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking the Silas is going to probably heavily gank No Ego. I mean, you're getting a Yone on the enemy team on a player that popped off last game on the Orianna. Yes, it's a very different style of play, but you still have that confidence there. And I think the Silas Zillion combination going into the mid lane is going to be so crucial.
We'll have to see how that mid lane matchup works, but I feel like to a certain extent the team composition sort of fell apart a little bit this game. I mean, I liked what I was seeing initially: Graves, Ashe, Nautilus for the side of Northwood, really solid team composition, and then suddenly they throw in a Zillion and a Silas. Doesn't exactly fit the team composition. I mean, they both can carry, so I am looking for Northwood to play a lot stronger in lane and not get run over in this game here if they want to stay in this best of 3 and push it to a game 3. As for Aqualix, the Senna, the Shen, that's about all we're getting run back from game 1 here. I mean, both worked really, really well. And actually, now I'm not sure if that's a Shen support or Shen top, because it could be a Maokai support.
Oh man, that would be, I don't know if I would like that. I still think you would prefer the Maokai into the Silas.
I mean, I would think that too. I don't know if Monster Mash plays Shen support though.
Yeah,
he has played Maokai support. I believe
it looks like it's going to be Maokai support.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because he did play it back in week 1, so I do know that he plays the Maokai support. That being said, Maokai support into the Nautilus is actually pretty.
Honestly, I think it's pretty good. Yeah. I was just thinking about that, like thinking of the new matchup, and yeah, honestly, I like it.
I think the Maokai pick in general is just really solid wherever they.
It's so funny because you hear it like rumbling through everybody, like all the colors. Everybody's like, "Oh, Kai, do you hear about that tree man that's like running around doing crazy stuff?" No, okay, it's cool. And then he just shows up and smacks people's faces. I'm hoping to see a pop up from the Maokai this time. It takes later into the game, and it's a support Maokai, so you're probably not going to see the same impact as you would say a top laner, but. We saw the Senna last game. We saw how strong that can be. We see No Ego on this Yone this time. You're giving yourself a very roundabout composition where last game we thought they had a weird composition. They pulled it off beautifully. So we'll see if they can do it again this time. I do really, really like Northwood's composition here for themselves in game 2. I liked the game 1 though as well. So that's what worries me the most here is I might be getting baited again.
Yeah, to a certain extent, I think pick and bans have a lot to do with your coach, and Northwood University's coach Aqualix is the same coach who coached a new esports back in their scouting ground cricket, right? So to victory, I might add, they were the champions. So I mean, the picks and bans being solid coming out of Northwood doesn't surprise me at all. The only issue now is can they actually execute?
Yeah, it's all about execution.
Game 1, like Aqualix just dominated all the lanes, so like that was definitely an execution thing. We didn't get to see their composition come online at all. And here in game 2 as well, Pirwin on this Talia here, I've had such high expectations. I'm really, really, really hoping that I didn't like overhype this and it falls flat on its face. But I mean, like knowing how he's played, watching his game back in week 1 there, if you get a chance, you should watch that one, chat. Like it was an amazing game. He was all over the place and he just wrecked everyone. So if he can pull that off again here, then the composition doesn't matter at the point, basically, because every lane's just going to get really far ahead and like Talia can just 1v5.
And the thing is we've seen Yone. I'm highlighting on this pick right now, Random Incaster. I'm sorry I've talked about it like 5 times already, but
that's fine.
We don't ever see it. It's so ridiculously strong when it gets ahead. Yes, it can fall off, and it's the same as anybody else. It's the same as any other carry. You get behind, it doesn't feel good. But when you get ahead, you think of Yasuo times 10. And like the people that can pull off this champion, the ones that can abuse his range, just are mind-numbingly sickening. Like I've seen people go 2 screens away from their shadow as Yone, using the ultimate, using the passive, and just completely decimating a team, and then ending up back under his turret like nothing even happened.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you think that Zed's bad? Well, a Yone that gets a hit is infinitely worse there, because the cooldown on that E is a lot shorter than the cooldown on that death mark from Zed. So definitely, if No Ego can get a hit, and if we think back to game one here, No Ego just completely popped off. Like he did so well on that Oriana, but imagine if that was a Yone. That game might have been a sub-20-minute game. The difference this time, though, is that he's up against ET. And not Ghost Electricity on that Lucian. So this is a brand new mid lane matchup. Really don't know what to expect from it. But ET has to be on his toes here with that Zillion. And Bjergsen makes Zillion look completely broken. But you've got to remember, Jensen tried to play that Zillion. It does not look anywhere near as broken. And that early game for Zillion is actually really rough. Trying to last with Zillion's difficult.
Early for Yone is really good. So like this is gonna be a very interesting match how we have it lined up here, Random Minion Caster. But saying that, we are gonna be getting to a spectator delay here. You're not gonna want to miss this action on the other side of this though, because I know I don't. We'll be right back. Welcome on to Summoner's Rift for game number 2 of this Divine League matchup between Aqualix Esports and Northwood University. See if Northwood can bring it back and bring us to game number 3, or if Aqualix go ahead and close it out here with a quick 2-0. As we get started, we do just have a nice line of scrimmage going on here early on. And quick little move from Pyroan, gets the ward down, also gets his sweeper and gets back out on the map. So nothing like that coming out from BenSap. You do see it from Pyroan.
And normally that trick allows you to try and sweep if you think you know where a ward is, but considering how defensively the team started out, it's definitely not going to any sort of real clearing of that.
My ears. I'm sorry. My ears hurt right now. We're getting pinged, ladies and gentlemen. They are pinging over and over again in the top tri bush. Oh my God. But they obviously think something else is going on up there. But we're going to see a quick blue side start from Pyroan as well as a blue side start from BenSap.
So the junglers here are not going to be mirrored. Most likely, we are going to see full clears potentially here. But yeah, the junglers will likely not meet up. So the first ganks coming up from both sides will not have that counter gank potential, most likely. So it should be an exciting first gank. We'll have to see how the lanes deal with it. Interesting choice that BenSap will be looking most likely at that bot side here to try and help his bot lane. And to be fair, it would make sense considering how game 1 went.
It would indeed. Ooh. Look, going in at level 1, not even level 2 yet, but look at the damage. They know they have it. Flash forward. Osha's gonna get done, but one more shot's gonna do it. TillSap getting first blood, changing the script, flipping the tables from game number 1.
I like that change here from Northwood University. They drafted a much stronger early. Yeah, level 1. I mean, they knew that they had a stronger early bot lane. Make use of it, punish right away. And Aqualix, I think, also didn't expect them to get so aggressive before level 2, but it was a great idea from them. They punished, and that's both summoners blown from Oshawott right now, so they could potentially just look for a regank, especially since BenSap will be now in the bot side area as well.
Well, and they also knew that early on, a Monster Mash on this Maokai has no response. He literally has to watch. He has one ability, and when he started off, it wasn't what you wanted. It was just the twisted advance. So it was that route. You get one route, but that doesn't stop both people going on to your ADC. And so good call from TillSap and Heroic, like you said before, to realize where they're at, what kind of lane they have, and to take advantage of it.
Now we might be can't get to mid lane.
Yeah, no ego getting put down early. Potentially, he's looking to take the trade. Oh my God, look at the damage down. He's going to go back to his... that was a really good bomb, though, by the Zillion. He still gets a kill back. He's still going! Oh no! This is why you don't let them pick the Yone. That's a double kill in the mid lane. Top lane, they get a kill. And we said it started completely different for Northwood University, but after 3 minutes, it's all the same.
Aqualix coming back with a big nope when they see the first blood coming down here. They're not going to surrender the early
real
game.
Quick.
Yeah, I mean, you think you're aggressive? Hold my beer. Heroin just like going top lane, mid lane as well. No ego on this unit. You talked about how strong unit was early. Well, I don't think ET and BenSap have played that much against the unit. Like you say, it's so rare. And now the gank to the bot lane, Monster Mash on the run.
Man, that was impeccably done by No Ego. He knew exactly when to go in. He took the fight on BenSap, who when you're ganking in the mid lane and it's a 2v1, you don't expect that mid laner just to turn around and start smacking you in the face and like wanting to kill you. You expect them to run away and try to get away. He does not do that. BenSap falls and then everything goes to hell afterwards. And the know-how from No Ego on this Yone, who's still such a new champ, but to abuse the mechanics so nicely and so fluidly is wonderful to watch. Yes, for my first like competitive game of Yone, but also just for the player himself. He came off that great game 1 on the Orianna. He has not given it up and he has not stopped.
No, 100%. One thing that I just checked here is that No Ego is running the last stand on the precision tree here. He's not going coup de grace, so that means that the lower his health goes, the more damage he does. So he knew what he was doing when he turned for the fight. Ball lane, Monster Mash, trying to survive in the
No Ego's here. No Ego's here. They've got Senna. Look at the damage coming down, though. As Heroic's going to go down, he's going to go back to the shade. BenSap could be next. The flash forward is going to get him out of there, though. And that was a good trade kill there for No Ego to roam down. They had the angle on Monster Mash. They were able to take down to the support, but another kill going into the pocket of the Yone is exactly where you want to be.
I mean, ET has the speed buff. He's got the teleport.
I don't know about that one, No Ego. That was a little bit over. pops the emote just to make sure his embarrassment is in stone there. As feels a little bit bad, but it's okay.
Yeah, I mean, he got out, barely really took any damage, so he's perfectly fine. And meanwhile, Perwin more than happy to pick up this mid wave here. I mean, that's a mid lane to Lee all of a sudden, right? Like, Perwin can just clear that and everything will be fine. So really good rotations there. The fact that Perwin can just cover No Ego the moment he roams, they don't lose any CS really for that roam from No Ego.
They don't indeed. And getting off to a good start again for the side of Aqualix Esports. But, you know, it's a very different game plan from Northwood, and I like it so far. But they need to be a little bit cleaner on the executions and where their decisions are coming down, especially in that bot side overextension for that kill. Just knowing that No Ego was missing and more than likely headed towards bot. But talking about bot, Oshawott gets caught out, doesn't want to continue it. That's a bit rough, but Pyroan is right around the corner. He doesn't have the Weaver's Wall yet. I don't understand why they didn't go in on that. I think they could have had that. Pyroan was nowhere even near them.
Yeah, I think that was just being a little too respectful there, and they regret it. Oh yeah, because right now you see Pyroan is set up, and the wave is pushing out. So for Heroics and Tilsap here, if they do opt to go in now, they have to be careful. And there we go.
Yep, we're going to see the full engage here, the healing coming out, as well as the Stand United. Heroics going to go down. The taunt landing, though, that's going to be it for Tilsap. Can he get the last shot? He doesn't. Now all four members are going to have to back away from this. Silas still pushing into his bot side. That was a really, really nicely timed Stand United. You see that crashing under the tower. He's going to get back just in time for it as well.
This is why teams have been banning Shen against WaveZix here. You've given them Shen, you've given them Talia. This is basically a comfort drop for Aqualix here. They're not counter picking, they're just flat out going for comfort. And the bot lane was their weakness, was their vulnerability. You saw how Heroes could just walk up and top.
No, he used the ultimate, the stolen ultimate, to get away. I love it. Bot lane, though, Oshawott's going to get caught. The Enchanted Crystal Arrow is not going to do enough to stop them down. A Weaver's Wall is coming out. That's going to be another kill to make it a double as they get to Pyroan, and the Talia is popping off. They're going to get these turret plays. They have gotten everything early on. It has ballooned to 3,000 gold almost, 7 kills to 2, and we're only 8 minutes in. This is the pace that they're looking to set.
It's looking like a repeat of game 1 here, except maybe even a little bit faster. I mean, I was saying that the bot lane is weak, but they've got so many globals. You've got Stand United, you've got Weaver's Wall, and No Ego's roaming like he's got teleport.
You can't do it. He's literally under tower right now. Like, that is what you don't want to see. That is the epitome of what Yone can do in the mid lane.
He's 4-0 now, No Ego. Like, that's just not okay. It's just gonna get worse here as the game continues to go on. ET got 100-0, and he wasn't even that far away from his turret. About halfway through that fight, was under turret, but No Ego, no fear. He just charges right in, and that's not going to be okay. Top side, we are seeing a gank here, but there's not going to be much to find. WaveZix already under his turret.
It's going to be a lot, but you really can't do anything against it. And Shen just fine farming up this wave under the tower, and they're really committing a lot here. This is turning into a 2v2 that they are not favored in. The taunt comes in, the damage is already there. Bendy is obliterated, and Bensap just has to try and do his best, weaving shots back and forth, trying to get the minions to save his life. Can't do it, though, as he goes down. Pyroan gets a killing spree. 10-2. Let me throw these KDAs at you real quick. Shen 2-0-2. Talia 3-0-3. Yone 4-0. That's some carry going on for them. Oshawott flashes to his support, but it doesn't matter. He still goes down. Now Monster Mash, the one that doesn't really have anything, is going to try to run to No Ego. Flash forward from Heroics. Is he going to get out, though? Yone going in. He gets the ultimate. Look at the damage. This is so dirty. This is just despicable. Pyroan has found Bensap 2 levels down in his own jungle, and he's, No Ego continuing doing what he's doing as a Yone. He is going to be in some trouble here. He's going to go down. That's a way over, maybe not. Maybe not. Random minion caster? Man, random minion caster. What is happening right now? Why?
This is not okay. And it might keep going because now Bensap's going up.
I can't do it anymore. I can't. the Stan United did come through. They get something at least. Oh man. So you know how I said it was GG go next last game? Well, it might be worse this game. I mean, it's a 7,000 gold lead at 11 minutes. I think it was 8,000 at 12 minutes last game. So I don't know anymore, man. But they've got. Okay, they didn't have climbing gear for game one. I really hope during that break they went to Dick's Sporting Goods or whoever they found that has climbing gear. Hopefully it's not some like mom and pop shop. It's like a real deal because they need it.
At this point, they don't need climbing gear. They need a life jacket. This is not okay. That bottom fight, they just kept throwing bodies into that one after another, into that meat grinder. Like, it did not go well when it was 2v2. It's not going to go well when you go 1v2. And they just kept throwing more and more after that. And now suddenly from 4-0, no, he goes 6-0-1. From what was a winning bot lane right now, Hero X is now down 1-4. Tilsap now 2-2. That was their one winning lane they had. And the problem is now, you look across the map, where are they going to play through? Definitely not top lane. Look at what's happening up there.
Yeah, Shen is just putting on the hurt to Bendy. And the thing about this is, no ego. Oh, goodness. You keep thinking he's limit testing, but really, he's just got the knowledge, man. He's just got the knowledge. Like, there is literally nothing you can do in a moment like this. He is out-calculating you. He has the gold in his pocket to do so, and every time you think he's at a disadvantage, he turns it completely around because he's Yone.
I mean, the announcer said it best. Yone, no ego right now, is godlike. He cannot die. It just looks like he can't. And now Pirwin looking to try and get this bot side, forcing something here.
And again, it feels so bad because I love the draft here. Both of them for Northwood. I think both drafts have been excellent, but it has come down to the execution. And the execution is simply not there. Another kill goes over to no ego, and this is just becoming a avalanche of gold for the side of Aqualix as they're going to look to dive down here in the bot lane. You have a lot of damage. Stan United coming down to try and save the day, but it's not going to. It actually does. Tilsap still goes down, but they get a shutdown on to the Silas. So at least you get a little bit of gold. You get a little something, but it's not going to be much.
What you have to remember is that because Bendy went down there, Wave Zix is going to get a bit more time. The nice part is he actually stole the Stan United, so that gave the shield that kept his bot lane a little bit alive, and he can still teleport back into lane as well. So he doesn't lose too much, but Wave Zix does get to shove that in. Bensap is now top lane, so they know they've got agency bot lane. They'll be able to take down the first turret in that bot lane here.
They will indeed, and that's a lot of turret plates for everybody. 4 in the mid lane for Yone, 5 in the bot lane for the bot laners of Aqualix, and it's just compounding this gold lead. We're at almost 10k, and it's 14 minutes in. Random minion caster. I mean, that's huge. We have a TP coming in now. This is Silas coming in to join the fight. Can he make the difference? This is the moment to put up or shut up. You get some gold. Stan United does not go through. He still goes down. Oshawott is popping off in the back line, though. Weaver's Wall, a bit awkward as he's going to stop his carry from helping. Maybe he just wants to secure the kill himself, and that's going to be just it. A double kill going over. 3 fall for just 1, and Monster Mash is completely fine with giving his life away for those.
Now, Bensap, you're in a dangerous spot, my friend.
It's you're trying to farm your own jungle, and there's no possible way you can. You have a Yone, you have a Talia, and look at the health bars get disintegrated here. They're in between their towers. Random minion cast. This is illegal. How many times? Where are the police? We need the Summoners Rip police right now because this is awful.
This is brutal at this point. There's just nowhere safe for them to play through at all. It's not Bensap's jungle. That red buff is just bait, and now topside, that turret is not going to save you, Bendy. There's no turret there.
There's nothing you can do about it. You're 13k gold in the deficit. Like, you just can't play the video game right now. There's nothing you can do in this game that would be beneficial to you. You're just going to die. They have your entire jungle warded up. They know exactly where you're going to be. You're pigeonholed into this little corner, and that makes it even more easy to decide where you're going to be and to make these kinds of invades that have been so crucial to the pressure that Aqualix has been putting on.
Now adding on to that ban list, before against Aqualix, people were banning the Shen, banning the Talia, banning the Bard, which continued to be banned this game. Well, guess what? You've got another champion to add to that
I would
list.
rather see the Bard than the Yone. I'll tell you that right now.
Out off that ban list for the second half here. So the rest of the teams here in Division 2 have to take note of this game because Aqualix really putting on a showcase, a clinic of what they can do right here. And as for Northwood University, to be fair to them, this is their first series here in the Risen Divine League.
It is.
And their program, their esports program is also fairly new. This is, I believe, their first real foray into the League of Legends scene. So certainly it's a bit of a rough start, but this is not representative of what they can do here.
No, it's not at all. And that's why it shocks me even more because I've seen this team pop off. I've seen them do good things. Yes, they're 0-2 in the season, but there's games in there that you can pull good things away from. And I still think there are some things to pull away from this game, but you've got to find a way in. Now we're going to see everybody going on to no ego. He finally goes down. Weaver's Wall coming across the board. Look at the damage onto Tilsap. Look at the rocks. It's just chunking boulders, but still able to get the kill is going to be Ben Snap. He tries to flash away, uses the collateral damage. Bendy needs to get out of there. Does have the Kingslayer. Look at the damage coming back, but the shots, the laser beams from the Senna, not going to be enough. Doesn't get the kill, but they at least get 2 in return, and they now have 7 in total for Northwood Esports.
Yeah, and the raid boss down, No Eagle finally dying the first time all game. Gave over 1,100 in bounty gold between him and I believe it was Pirowin onto Bansap. So Bansap sitting on a ton of gold right now. But Wave Zix, throughout that fight, opted not to use the Stand United. He was just like, I'm going to push. You guys fight in. You guys got this, right? I'm out. And he doesn't manage to get the inner turret.
One more
and his team just
attack.
Yeah, and now he might not be able to get out because Tilsap just going to
the
slow him
approach
down.
velocity for Tilsap is so strong, and you see that coming through. He wants to turn it. I think that's twice that Wavezik could, if he turned earlier, could have gotten kills. You know what I mean? Like that last time, like if he just turns there, I think he at least gets 1, maybe even 2.
No Eagle, though. He's back for revenge here. And we've seen him 1v2.
They are
we gonna
walking away from a 1v3 right now, Random Meaning Caster. Okay, he's way overextended. There's no, like, why is he still in this? What is happening right now? Why? After all those fluid, amazing plays, we get to see that.
Yeah, we talked about monumental throws in game 1 being the only way to come back. Well, Aqualix is trying to do that a little bit here. Now, Pirowin coming in, but he's got backup, so this should not go the same way. Heroic.
Yeah. It's a lot of damage going down. Stand United comes in as well. Monster Mash flashes forward, but both these members are going to get dropped. Actually, Tilsap getting out.
No Dawning Shadows available at this time, so... Weaver's Wall.
It was so close. Oh, the flash forward by Rowan gets the kill. They lose him, though, as that is confidence to a T. Monster Mash going to get some damage down, but they still have the tanks. They still have OSHA. Look at that shot. One shot doing about a quarter of ET's health.
ET can't be in there. And, you know, when the series started, we asked what type of Pirowin would we see today? The Pirowin that carries or the Pirowin that feeds? And in this game 2 here, why not both? Apparently is the answer here. Is Pirowin, I mean, he did amazingly well. He's 8-3 and 8 here. The second only to No Ego in terms of kills, but he's got the highest KP on his team. But those last couple of plays from him have been kind of suspect. Same as No Ego here. So I think Aqualix does need to start tidying their play up a little bit. Sure, you are very, very far ahead. You've got, oh my goodness, 11,000.
It's been like this since minute 13 in the game. Yeah. They've had an 11,000 gold lead for 8 minutes now.
That's absolutely disgusting. Like at 20 minutes, that should be a game-sealing lead. But then again, if you're going to play this way and start throwing kill after death away like that, then you need to be careful because the side of Northwood University can still come back. It's a long road, but it starts with throws like this.
They can. And the one thing I do want to point out is all the shutdown gold has already gone over. The only one with a shutdown left on him is Oshawott. It's a good amount, but you already got the shutdown gold from Pyroin and you already got the shutdown gold from No Ego. So this lead that they have is more or less a permanent lead.
It's a fairly cemented lead. The only goal you're going to be getting is just kill gold at this point. Baron is on the table, and they're going to drop Shelly. And again, past 20 minutes, Shelly's going to do a chunk of damage to this turret here. 80% right off the bat. Yep. Bendy is no longer safe again.
Yeah, they're going to get the tower down and take some kills. Bendy has to flash out as No Ego went all the way, and he's still there. This is Yone, folks. This is Yone. That's all you got to say. Tilsap gets completely caught out. That was just unfortunate positioning for the AD carry of Northwood, but they still have to defend here as Yone is still doing work right now as ET has to flash. They go on to Bensap now, the healing from Oshawott. He gets the slow from the Glacial Augment. Can he get the damage? No, Ego gets collateral damage, but he doesn't die. One more shot can do it. They still don't get Oshawott. What is happening in this game? This gold lead is unsurmountable. He had no health left, but Senna does what Senna does, and she gets out with even more than she started with. No Ego gonna get dropped here, though, as he goes down, but still another kill for Pyro and make it 2. Could it be a 3rd? He's not gonna be able to, as Tilsap is able to return one, but the entire time they're just letting the towers fall as Tilsap doesn't even want to help here. He doesn't even want to defend, as now they're just got one Nexus tower looking for 2. The flash from Wave 6, 2 shots are gonna do it, and that is going to be no minion wave for them. They could turn as Monster Mash gets dropped by the shots. I don't even know anymore, as Wave 6 is gonna get slowed up. They get the tower at least. Oshawott is not gonna get out. He gets shotgun blasted too. Wave 6 still taking kills here. Gets 1, could be getting 2. Does he have it? No, he does not. So that's a triple kill for Bensap. They've gifted a lot of gold over, but you know, they gifted all that gold. They did all that, but guess what? They're even further in the gold deficit than they were before all that happened.
We're now up to a just shy of 14K deficit here coming through. This is, it's not okay. I mean, the trades are sloppy, but Aqualix is coming ahead in these trades. Well, yes, they did lose a lot of people on the exit there. You have to remember that for the side of Northwood University, they lost members who respawned, came back, fought, and died again. So their death count is actually higher than what it looks at the end of it. And now Aqualix starting up this Baron without Wave 6 available. The Stand United is there so they can rejoin, and we're seeing the TP come in from behind.
A lot of damage. Yeah, the TD's coming in, though. That's Nature's Graph's going to do a lot. That the Chrono Shift was really nice. Dawning Shadow across the board, though. Look at the tankiness. Wave 6 is taking a 1v4 right now. What is this? How is this League of Legends? They need to end the game right now, or there's going to have to be like a police report filed, because this is too much. They are going to pop that 15K lead. They popped almost every member of Northwood University except for Hero, as they just barrel down into the Nexus. They already have a minion wave pushing. This was a quick 2-0 for Aqualix as they cement their lead in the standings and show why they are the 3-0 team of this group.
Yeah, Aqualix, I mean, not only are they top of this group, but they are also sort of hot favorites here to just flat out win this potentially. They are one of the scarier teams. And, you know, we talked about damage numbers last game and how actually Oshawott managed to out damage everyone else. This game, No Ego just absolutely popped off. But you know what? He still didn't do the most damage. That's Elias banned for a reason.
Zilean doesn't have a big health bar, okay? He obliterates him over and over again, but the health bar isn't there for Zilean, so that's why his damage numbers aren't that high, okay?
Yeah, that is true. I mean, the Peruvian did also catch up the kills and also built the Medjais. I didn't get to see how much he got on that Medjais, but that's just disgusting. I think teams facing Aqualix will have to take note. There's just too many champions you need to ban against them. I honestly don't think the Shen is the biggest problem here for them. Wave 6, sure, he won lane. Sure, he got Sand United's off most of the time. 2 fights he didn't, with the 2 fights they lost. But at the same time, this 12-4 and 13 Talia, this 11-3 and 6 Yone, that's not okay.
Yeah, it's definitely not. I do want to say, I mean, it's hard to pull things away from games like this. We had 2 back-to-back games that were slaps. I mean, I'm not going to shy away from it. They absolutely smacked them. But the thing is, you have to grow from moments like this. You have to take the learnings that come from these and use them. You can't just get down about yourself. You can't say, oh, they're better or whatever. You need to use this as experience to come back and show next time you face these guys that you have learned from your mistakes and that you can give it to the top teams in the group. So I'm really keeping my eyes on Northwood. I think they have a lot of hope. I think they have a lot of promise. Their drafts are wonderful. Their drafts are insane. If they can just execute in the game, that is the game changer right there for them. And so I'm looking at that for the next couple of weeks. I want to see that evolve. I want to see them evolve. But man, you got to give it to Aqualix. They are just far and above anybody else right now. And it just feels so good for them to secure these two just bone-breaking wins.
100%. And like you said, Northwood, they actually, besides their draft, they have actually a solid backbone here to build off of. Ben Sapp, considering how bad that game 2 kind of went, Ben Sapp actually 7-0. Like he did pretty well for himself in the jungle in game 1 as well. On that Hecarim, we saw him make a lot of early moves as well. Like that really kind of worked out for them. And Tilsap and Heroics in that bot lane as well. Sure, they ended 3-9 and 9, 1-7 and 9. But you have to remember, they actually crapped over Oshawott and Monster Mash in the early levels. Like that level 1 engage was madness. And even in game 1, their scoreline, despite losing, was actually a lot better than this. I think it was a combined 0-4 and 4 or 0-4 and 5. Like they were actually a pretty good bot lane. So I think they've got a steady bot lane. They've got a good jungle. They need to sort out their mid and top a little bit here, but I think they can do it. It's just, if it's only 2 players who they just need to sort of whip into shape and get the communication together, that's definitely something they can fix. And they've got 3 more weeks. We're only now at the halfway mark here. So you know what? You can still make a comeback. You can still make playoffs.
You definitely can. But that's going to be it from us here, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all so much for tuning in and joining us for this roller coaster of a 2-game series here. It has been Mazel. It has been, for the first time, random minion caster in here with the booth with me. I appreciate it. I had so much fun casting with you. But I got to give one last shout out, and that's the Crybaby behind the scenes, doing the production, pressing all the beep boops. Thank you so much for everything you do and for letting us do what we do. But again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so very much. And make sure you stay tuned in to Risen's social media channels to see the next time we do go live, as it will be later this week. But with that being said, we'll see you next time on Summoner's Rift.